Hi there, it's the Dutch Sims 4 Master and welcome to this brand new The Sims 4 Let's Build episode. So today I'm back here with the temple Let's Build and I believe we're at episode number 4. And today I'm actually making a lot of progress on the back of the temple. In the previous episode I've sort of prepared like the back to be able to make this progress, and therefore I also noticed that in the last episode some of you commented that it was sort of too structural or sort of not super clear what I was doing, which I can totally imagine because I was indeed just clicking and dragging stuff and it didn't really get that much like true end result yet. But in this episode I am actually making like truly an end result or something which you can look at and you can think, you know, that looks cool. And in the previous episode it was mainly structural sort of, even though of course you don't have to think about structure or anything in The Sims, but still, you know, you've got to in some way make sure that the foundation is good, especially with regards to the shape, and then later on you can add like decorational elements like columns and windows and etc. And that is what I'm doing in this episode. Of course, still some clicking and dragging everywhere, but in the end I think that this side of the temple really turned out to look super cool as well. In the next episode I'll I think definitely finish like the entire shape of the temple and just like the temple itself in general. So the exterior. Then the next episode will probably be like landscaping. And then afterwards it will be all about the interior, which I will speed up more than I've done with the exterior because it will take a lot of time, I guess. And otherwise you might get sort of bored of it if I've got like 10 episodes of doing the interior, and also the Let's Build would take way too long. Because I don't want to upload it like enough. I feel like I'm uploading, yes, well, not really enough, but it's sort of okay, the frequency, because I also want to really make sure that I upload enough speed builds, because very many of you are super enthusiastic about the speed builds always, and like the comments recently on my latest speed builds seriously have been heartwarming, and it was super fun to read all of those, and those also motivate me to like create more speed builds, obviously. But therefore I'm not always able to upload as much of the Let's Build because I've get so many other things to do besides YouTube, which I've also got to keep going sort of, but I feel like we're sort of back on a schedule. I want to implement some more SketchUp into the schedule because like speed builds, because I personally really like SketchUp, and like many of you who like architecture really like SketchUp as well, and those who generally just like design, so that is fun. And I really hope that I will be able to upload some more of that and find some good balance between The Sims and SketchUp. But the hard part about SketchUp is that I feel like the main focus on my channel is Sims, so once I've uploaded a SketchUp video, I'm not thinking of making the next one. Even though with The Sims, when I've uploaded a new video, I'm always thinking of what the next one should be. And with SketchUp I feel like I shouldn't overdo it, but yeah, currently I'm probably underdoing it and I should upload that a little bit more. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. If you want to see more SketchUp, that would be cool. If you could let me know what you think of it, and also you can let me know in the comments down below what you think of the temple, and if you've got any suggestions for like the last part, the last part of the exterior of the building itself. Then you can let me know, because this is probably like one of the last chances to make changes or make suggestions for the like the exterior of the building itself, because afterwards I'll move on to like the garden and stuff, and from there on yeah, I'll probably, yeah, it's sort of hard to from there on change like parts of the building again, because that changes the landscape as well. Yeah, unless it's of course like super good suggestions, but hey, I'll see it pass by in the comments, of course. So yeah, by the way, it is also almost, well, it's spring now again, and actually in the Netherlands this weekend we're going back into summertime, and because we always move like daytime savings, which is probably in like most countries, I believe. Like most countries do daytime saving, but the hard part about it is that it's different for like the UK and then the rest of Europe and Australia and the US, I believe. So I believe like there's often a difference of like 2 hours between, for instance, the Netherlands and New Zealand, between winter and summer, but also for like conference calls. I believe I once read that people who have to do a conference call with people from the US, the UK and Australia, I believe they move their time zones apart from each other, so that in like 6 weeks time or like 4 weeks time, the time changes, or the time difference changes like 3 times, which is crazy and super inconvenient. And often I sort of wonder why we still do daytime saving, because I believe back in the day the idea was of daytime saving to, like, of course, save energy, which sort of the name of daytime saving says already. But it's sort of hard always for me to think of in what way they, nowadays we've got like a 24-hour society sort of, so it's sort of, yeah, you know, what was the concept again? Did they want to have time in the evening or like at night? Yeah, just in the evening at the end of the day, or did they want to gain some extra light in the morning? And then I've got to think, in the winter the time goes back, so you gain like 1 hour, meaning that they want to, yeah, anyways, it's sort of strange nowadays that we still do it, because like that doesn't really make a difference anymore, especially in the Netherlands. Like midsummer, it's like getting dark at 10 p.m. and then getting light at like 5, I believe, which is like super fun, because in that way, you know, it's always light, and personally I really like, you know, daylight. And with winter it's always so dark, and especially if you have to, like, for instance, go to university in the morning and then it's still dark when you leave, and then you come back home and it's still dark, and that's, you know, you feel like you've sort of not wasted a day, of course, but still it sort of feels that way. Yeah, that's just a little update on the fact that daytime saving is coming up. In case, yeah, probably it's only relevant for the Dutch people, so this doesn't really make sense. But that's another cool fact I recently learned about, and that is that in Sri Lanka you actually have half an hour time difference. So when it's, I believe it's 4.5 hours time difference between Sri Lanka and the Netherlands, which also probably depends on what moment in the year you're in, because I'm not sure if they follow our daytime saving schedule. But like, you've got half an hour difference, and I believe someplace in Nepal, or I believe it was Nepal, or some, not really a very well-known country. So I think Nepal is too well-known to be that country, but a country where you've got like 1/4 hour time difference, which is like super insane and like super inconvenient. I mean, if you want to schedule a meeting between like 2 neighboring countries and there's a time difference of like 1/4 hour, that will definitely cost a lot of money by making like the wrong appointments. But yeah, I always wonder what the reason is that they need that 1/4 hour, because that difference isn't going to make, yeah, it's not going to make a super big difference in your in like the sunrise and the sunset time, I believe. But maybe I should read more into that. That's sort of interesting. If any of you knows more about like time zones and stuff, and how they're actually chosen, because there's also parts in Africa, I believe, where and also, yeah, is it Africa, but also for instance in the Pacific, where like there's a huge gaps in the time zone line sort of, which does have quite some influence probably on like when it gets light and when it's getting dark again. But yeah, maybe there's like a time zone expert watching this video, then I would be super interested to hear more about this. But probably, yeah, I've never heard of a time zone expert, so that's probably not happening. Talking more about the build, as you can see, it's really starting to get shape. And I realized that actually the green, which I added, so like the plants, the vegetation I added to the walls, really does make it look more lively and more like a natural temple sort of. So I'm super happy that they added that in the Jungle Adventures game pack, because it really adds like some sort of new dimension to like your build, I believe. So yeah, we're now already at the end of this 4th episode of the Temple Let's Build. Please let me know what you think of it. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I believe that YouTube is fixing the sub boxes, or at least they've said that they would. So maybe the videos are finally ending up at everyone's sub box, which I hope it does. But anyways, thank you for watching this video, and then I hope to see you back later.